All right, I'd like to call to order the Douglas Zoning Board of Appeals meeting for Wednesday, December 7th at 7 PM. The first and only agenda item is a public hearing for Kevin Morse, case number 2022-09-17 Churchill Road. The following notice was posted in the town hall and published in the Worcester Telegram and Gazette, and reads as follows. The Town of Douglas Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing beginning at 7 PM on Wednesday, December 7th in the Douglas Municipal Center, 29 Depot Street, Douglas, Mass. To hear the following application. 7 PM, Kevin Morse is requesting a variance pursuant to MGL Chapter 40A, Section 10, and Section 9.2 of the Douglas bylaws for side yard setback relief for a chicken coop. Dimensional regulations, Appendix B, side yard requirement in an RA zone district is 25 feet, and 12 feet has been provided. The property location is 17 Churchill Road, map 212, parcel 31. Any person interested or wishing to be heard should appear at the time and place designated. A copy of the application is available for review during regular business hours in the Douglas Community Development Department, 29 Depot Street, Douglas, Mass. So, hearing the case tonight will be myself, Mr. Palmer, Mr. Forget, and Mr. Bombara by Zoom. And remember, Mr. Fitzpatrick is ill and won't be attending tonight's meeting. I have confirmation from staff that all the certified mailings have been returned. And we had no communication from the Douglas Planning Board. So the public hearing is now open. And the applicant would like to join us?
Sure. Do you want me to come up there?
Sure, yeah.
Thank you.
All right,
Why are you tonight, gentlemen?
very good.
So Kevin Morse, 17 Churchill Road,
Yeah.
here in Douglas. I know that we did have the public hearing scheduled for this evening. I have secured an engineering firm,
Okay,
so that way I can actually give you a certified plot plan with an engineering drawing as to where I'd like to place the chicken coop.
okay.
Unfortunately, they are backlogged.
Yeah, well, a lot of them are.
So, yeah, I have secured Allen Engineering out of Milford. They had said that the soonest they would be able to get to me is about 45 days.
Okay,
So I would ask respectfully if I could have a continuance so I can provide you the certified plot plan as well as the architectural drawing that goes with it.
okay, all right. Are you looking for a 30-day continuance?
Yeah, could I do a 30-day?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We just have a form here. Basically, what this does is we'll grant the 30-day continuance, and then in return, you grant us an additional 30 days to make a decision. Not that we would necessarily need it, but it's there if it's needed.
That's perfectly.
So,
You gotta give to get.
I'm sorry?
I said you have to give to get.
Yes, yes. If you want to fill that out and just sign it, and we'll have it on file.
Do you have, I think we have pens over here.
Okay.
It's 7, right?
Yes,
Is that correct?
When you work from home, you never know what day it is.
I know every day ends in Y.
So am I asking for an extension or a continuance?
A continuance. Yeah.
And what will be the date?
I have it right here. January,
January 4th, meeting date?
yeah, is that what it is?
Yeah, it says January 4th.
Okay, January 4th.
And just sign where it says by duly authorized?
Yeah, that's great. Great,
Mr. Chairman?
thank you. All right, so I guess we should have a motion and take a vote to accept the request for a continuance.
Can I make a motion? Go ahead, Mr. John.
I said so moved.
Okay. All right, we have a motion by Mr. Bombara,
I second it.
seconded by Mr. Palmer. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Aye.
All right, great. So the public hearing is going to be continued to 7 PM on the 4th, January 4th.
So I'm not sure that I understand exactly what's happening. And in terms of changing a date, what happens if the primary abutters, us, can't make that meeting?
Maybe,
Can you do Zoom like I'm doing today?
yeah, could you attend by Zoom?
It's possible, but not guaranteed.
Okay.
And
Okay.
Right, and
We do
we're
need to be
the
here.
ones that have the greatest input, obviously.
And impact, and
Yeah.
it's fine. So, and I thought I heard that they're 45 days out.
Yeah, what was the, yeah,
So,
30, 45?
I think 45 was from the date of your application or something? to
Yeah,
that
I can
effect?
try and pull them in. So,
so what do you
it's
mean
not
try? so-
guaranteed. It's-
Yeah,
it's
what
not-
happens?
So he's saying 45 days,
Mm-hmm.
but yet we're only postponing or whatever the proper
Continuance, whatever.
term is for 30 days. So
Right.
it's unlikely that it's going to happen.
I believe that, correct me if I'm wrong, our staff was notified by the applicant that weeks ago, that his engineer, he had an engineer, but their workload wouldn't allow them to complete it by tonight's meeting. But we had already advertised, accepted his application. So,
they'll have it completed by the January meeting.
okay.
Okay,
Guaranteed?
Mr. Chairman.
What happens if he comes in again and says, I don't have it yet, I need to get another continuance? Is that granted?
Well, we try to work with all applicants.
so will you work with the butters? If we
Yeah.
can't attend a meeting and we are the ones that have the greatest stake in this, I'm sorry.
Oh, no. Continue, I'm just listening right now. No, please.
Mr. Chairman, may I speak?
Yeah, go ahead, John.
I think what the lady and gentleman in the audience are saying this. What happened was we needed more information in regards to where the chicken coop is now.
Correct.
We have no documents where it is now. We can't ask them to move it, show it, or anything like that until we have the documents by an engineer to show you exactly where it is.
Correct.
And we'll look at the topography of the land and decide from there where we go. So we're not putting it off to be putting it off. We're actually looking at it as we need an engineer. We can't look at it like drawn on a piece of paper saying, hey, this is where it is. We need to know exactly where it is right now and where we go from there. That's
So
all we're asking. 30 days.
we
He's
total-
asking for 30 days. He takes 45 days for the engineer to maybe finish the job. It'll come back to us again.
Right, and we understand that.
We're both working on both ends.
We understand
So-
that. We had a survey done.
I'm sorry, ma'am, but I'm having a hard time. I think with the speakers aren't picking you up.
Okay, so we had a survey done. Back in September, we were told that they were getting their own survey in September. It's now 3 months later. So I'm sorry, I would like to believe, but I am just trying to make sure that it happens in January, and what happens if it doesn't happen in January and we can't be present?
Well,
And you don't hear our input, because it's kind of important.
Yeah.
We agree. We agree.
Are you available for the February meeting first?
We may not be, that's the problem. That's the
I
problem.
mean, we want to work with everybody, but Well, why don't we move forward to January, and if for some reason it's not, we don't have it, which I can speak personally, that engineers are not always do things when they say they're going to do them.
Okay, so can I ask a question then? What exactly will the engineer be showing? Are they going to show, because in Kevin's request, he talks about the septic system and components. Will those things be marked out to support his variance request? Or is it simply going to be the property lines?
Most
and
often
where
it's the property line and
where the
the,
house sits on that property?
right, most often that's what we get. Just-
Okay, well then, I
So
don't
then if he's
understand how
using-
that's going to, I don't understand how that's going to meet the request, the variance request.
If he's using septic as an excuse, or a reason, whatever, and the plan doesn't show it, then,
Well, there's a plan on file, I'm sure, with the Board of Health.
There is, I have a copy of the setback.
Oh,
Well,
can you bring it to
basically
the
the as-built
next
for that.
meeting?
Yep.
Okay.
so I don't believe there's an as-built. There's a plan. There is not an as-built. There's a Title V inspection that shows some of the septic
You know what, but we're
information.
getting a little too deep into this. We would need to continue this, and this information, we're more than happy to hear and consider, but
Well, so I just want to make sure that when we come back in January, that we have everything and it doesn't keep getting continued.
well, the only thing I can tell you is if you wanted to call the Community Development Office 3 or 4 days before the meeting, if it hasn't been received, she could tell you that it's, you know, it's going to get continued again. We'd have to meet in order to continue it,
Sure.
but,
So clearly you
Through
will,
the chair, please, Mr. Hughes.
yeah, go ahead.
So the as-built that I have is from the developer themselves, which is Carol Lublinsky, who built most of the neighborhood. But I mean, as his curiosity and questions regarding, you know, why I'm asking for a variance, the biggest thing is he seems to be very concerned as to what's happening on property that doesn't belong to him, which is what started this in the entire first place. Like that chicken coop sat where it was for 4 years without an issue.
untrue.
You know what, I'm going to have to stop this because this is all public hearing.
Right.
It's, in all honesty, I offer my apologies for even getting in front of you. Like, this is what happens with pettiness when neighbors can't find a way to agree.
Okay, that's, I think you heard about enough. Come on,
Yeah.
come on.
So,
We need to,
I'm just going to, we're just going to,
Clearly, meetings can be continued based on the applicant's request. Can meetings be continued based on a butter's request and a butter's inability to attend?
yeah, you know, I've been here 16 years, and I honestly haven't had an abutter request an extension. I'm not saying it can't be done, but I would have to just get some confirmation from town council.
So
Mr. Chairman, if they need to continue due to their absence, I'm more than happy to agree and concede to that.
Okay, thank you. So we voted to continue it to January. Let's see what happens at our January meeting. If we're not ready to move forward, then we'll
Have to
consider another
Yeah.
continuance.
Yeah.
You know, but does it discuss the facts in the case now is not the correct time to do that. So,
Just one.
go ahead, sir.
Do we get another certified mail telling everybody?
You will not.
No, so
You will not.
anybody who wasn't here, didn't know about it, will not know about it. Is that correct?
Right, so not without calling the town hall. So, yeah, we're required to advertise it and send certified mail once,
Oh, okay,
so.
okay. I didn't know.
And this isn't terribly uncommon. A lot of
No, that's
times,
fine. I didn't
people need a
know.
continuance.
Uh-huh, okay.
Can I ask one other question, please? So, I think you mentioned that at the town, whoever is coordinating this, and I know I'm probably using all the wrong terms, but that she knew that a continuance was going to be requested, or is that what I heard? Because,
She told me, yes, I knew, because the secretary told me, but it was already advertised, and we had to open the hearing so that we could continue it.
right, so Bruce asked today if there was any update, so, and we were told that there was no update today. We weren't told anything about getting, Kevin asking for an engineering.
I'm sorry that was the case. I was notified a few days ago,
Yeah, I mean,
so, and actually, our staff was out sick today, so,
For 2 days.
yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah, I did check with Jen on Monday, and I checked with Jackie today, and they both said no updates.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry for that miscommunication, if that's what happened. But we're here and willing to hear everybody's sides of concerns and try to make a good, fair decision. But we can't do it until January.
okay.
So, all right. Thank you, everybody.
Mr. Chairman.
See you in January. I think it's going to be a little short tonight, because I do have one invoice here that everybody needs to sign for the engineering at North Brown.
I have the
And
Webster.
we have minutes, but we don't have, Mike's not here, we don't have a full board, so
Oh, Kevin,
I'd prefer to
this
just
is.
go over the minutes when everybody's here.
Do it all at once.
Also, I want to mention, we just got a report on the last day or so from the engineers that are doing the review work at North Brown. And he did have some concerns, but he actually had some positive things here that have been completed or in the process of being completed, so,
I did have a conversation with Neil Rybicki today
okay.
with regards to those negatives, I'll put it. The outlet control, lower outlet control for 1 and 2, the problem with that is they don't have any wrap in and around that swale where it's coming out. They're waiting until they get a frost in the ground so they don't disturb everything with the machine to get in there and do that. He is going to get that taken care of.
Okay.
And I did mention to him about all the other concerns. The electrical is in. I have signed off another occupancy permit for number 1 on Nautical Way. I don't know how much of a concern that siltation on the sidewalk is to you guys. I don't see where it's impeding any travel or anything.
Okay.
I think my opinion would be if we left it alone, we'd probably be better off with the grass stabilizing that area than digging it out to get a lower elevation at that sidewalk. That ultimately, on the final project, is going to have to be corrected. I mean, if you guys want me to pursue that, I will. I just feel that he's also got the stabilizing that he did on the other berm assembly that he had a lot of erosion there. Backside of swell, what is that, number 2 basin, they did that. There's something with regards to the berm in the center. I didn't fully understand what they were saying about that. And then, just like I said, the outlet control, if you look at the picture that I submitted there, you can see you just got a couple of stones around that that's supposed to have wrap all the way down off.
Okay,
So,
all right. Any progress on those affordable units?
there's only one left up in that phase 2. I believe it is sold, and I would imagine I'll probably be in there within the next 2 weeks to do a final on it.
Great.
So they are
That's
moving,
good.
but all the rest of them are sold and transferred.
Oh,
And I do believe that he submitted the documentation for the transfer, so we have that record of
Okay.
affordable sales.
yeah. And I actually spoke with Bob Sullivan from Water and Sewer, and he was concerned because he had no as-built plans for the water main and the sewer main and the connections to each house, but he said he does not have all of them, but he was given a significant amount of that information, and
Okay.
he was told he'll get the balance.
That's the other thing I said to Neil today. I says, when are you going to be doing your as-built for Phase 2? I says, he said that the engineer was already down there and was doing all the shooting with all the grades and everything. I told him when he submits the final as-built for Phase 2, I also want a complete set. If it's an overlay, that's fine, but a complete set of all the as-bills for all the infrastructure under the road at the same time.
Okay.
So there should be a full packet of it that comes in, and I said, you can send it to me on a PDF drive, but it's got to be legible. If it's not, then I want paper copies.
Okay. Good. Well, it seems like things are going in the right direction at the moment,
Yeah.
so that's
He's
good.
moving all of the soils away from the road, going up through. He's taking a lot of it out of there, which is fine. There's an absorbent amount in there anyways, but again, the anticipation was spring of '23. They wanted to start looking forward to putting Phase 4 road in.
Good. That's good
I think that would be a good situation for us to have them do that.
for everybody.
Start the fourth one, yeah.
Yeah. Or get it all roughed in.
Okay, well, like I said, we'll do the minutes at the next meeting when we have a full board. And also, Jen's working on getting these applications so that people can do them online. So it's a work in progress at the moment, but let's see if I can speak with her directly about that. We've had a couple of passing comments that she was working on it, but I'll,
As it stands now, she's done a good job on it between her and Jackie. Jackie gave her some guidance on doing some code writing and stuff, and I've taken it upon myself to get this and the planning board documentation online. We've been paying for a year now, and we haven't implemented it. So basically, what she's done is take the zoning forms, enter them in a drop-down pattern. So you go online to zoning board, and then it forces you to continue down and answer questions that are necessary to answer. And I know a couple of people, I think Mike Fitzpatrick has done a little bit of review on it. And I know we did have an applicant that put an application in. First time they called me and said, what are you trying to do to me here?
Yeah.
And then the second time when I did some explanation on the phone, they came back and said, well, yeah, that was a good system. We can't get it as a payment online like we do with the permits, with the UniPay right now, because we already have one account linked to view permit.
okay.
That, I think that was my understanding of it, but that's something that we'll be working on in the near future.
So it's similar to a building permit application, you answer the questions.
Right, it forces you just to go
But
down, you put your
download-
name in, and you gotta put an address in. If you don't put an address in, then it doesn't go any
You don't go
further.
any further.
And it's all the way down through, and it's even gonna drop down, is it a special permit, or is it a variance? And then if it's a special permit, it leads you to this, if it's a variance, it leads you to this. And they just keep dropping all the way down. And then they can download attachments and everything, just like the building permits. So I think at the end of the day.
They can.
Yeah.
The, when you talk about the variance and the special permit, does it say on the application, if you clicked one, what it actually means you're gonna have? Because most
I'm
people won't know
not
that.
sure, but typically when I write out the letter, I put on that letter whether it's they're going for a special permit or a variance.
Okay,
On their denial letters that they get, that would prompt them to go into this.
okay. Just a question.
Yep. We have limited space, we try and utilize space, but there was 7 forms available between planning board and zoning board on the online permitting system. And we've utilized, I think we still have three 3 forms for planning, maybe 4 forms for planning, because they have a lot of different applications that you can't do drop-downs on. You know, if you're going in for an A&R, if you're going in for a subdivision, if you're going in for a lot reduction. So there's a lot of different ones, so they need the higher capacity of forms than the zoning does. The zoning's pretty much one form or the other going down through.
Good.
Would the zoning board, our zoning book be online for them to read?
Not on this, no. It's on the
No.
town website.
That's what I thought, okay.
If you go on the town
Just-
website, you can go into the zoning on the town website.
Yeah, I know that, but I was just wondering if you could attach that to your application.
We don't have the room to do that.
Okay, all right.
They do limit us, they limit us on the availability of writable room on there. We have unlimited storage with the cloud, but the writable room we're limited on.
Okay. Sounds good. I mean, I talked to Jen about it probably 2 weeks ago when her and I spoke about it, and she was just like, it's a work in progress, so.
Yep.
You know, so we got a long way to go, that's all, no big deal.
But we just need the encouragement to get people to go on and, like this memorandum she sent out, if you guys have an opportunity to go on and just make a fake application up just to see how it works. I know, Dan, you're familiar with the permit system, so I don't know if you guys have ever done the permit system.
Reasonably familiar with it. I need a little help sometimes just to get a permit.
Get to a point where we don't need to know.
I know. I know.
So, but yeah, feedback is, critical at this point with this so that we can make sure the final little aspects of it are taken care of.
Yep.
All right, thank you, Ken. And we don't have any other items at this point. Entertain a motion to adjourn, if somebody wants to make
I
it.
make motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Palmer, seconded by Mr. Forget to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Well,
Aye, Dan Heaney.
Aye, Jim Palmer.
Aye, Ron Forget.
from our eye.
Okay, great. The meeting is adjourned at, does that run, 7:27?
Yeah.
7:27, yes.
Okay.